Yeah.
Okay. So we'll call the meeting to order. It's 7:08. The first order of business is approval of the meeting minutes from February.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as sent.
Yep, and I'll second that. Any comments? Or did you have any additional? I didn't. I thought they were fine. I thought they were really good. Okay. Hearing no further comments. Do I get a vote to approve the minutes? All those in favor? Reset my head here. Aye.
Aye.
Yep. Meeting accepted as read. Mike Syria just texted me and said he didn't get the Zoom.
Okay.
I didn't get the Zoom leak either. Either did Gary Wells. I had to go on to the calendar to click the link there. I asked John Burt and he said Lisa would send it again, but I guess some people didn't get it. So
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I got it to about 7 minutes before 7. So I'm here. I got it in the email.
Mark, do you have a way to send it to him or else I can?
I don't have it on this laptop.
Let me see.
I'm using
Copy
my
at least the
personal
Zoom link.
laptop.
You may have to do some magic to let him in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hang on, let me see if I can get it real quick.
And I'll check with Lisa tomorrow, confirm the distribution list is complete and accurate.
Okay. All right, I just sent him a link to it. You may run into a bit of an issue because it's mine, but
Oh,
hopefully it'll get him in, or at least get him to Zoom. Okay. Next item on the agenda, citizens petitions and comments. Any comments from neighbors, golfers?
neighbors, I don't want to jinx myself.
Okay,
The neighbors have been quiet.
nice. Nothing from golfers? Okay.
Not to me.
All right, hearing nothing. Next agenda item, new correspondence or communications. I don't know, Marie, if you have an update.
I do have an update.
Okay,
There's no correspondence, I guess. So I'd like to get a report from SWGA, the Women's League. A few items here. The spring general meeting was held on Tuesday, April 9th at Par 4, where new and returning members were updated on events planned for the 2024 season. We began Ladies' Day the last weekend of April, and that's going to continue through the end of September. That's our weekly tournament. And those who cannot attend or play on Tuesdays can always play the previous weekend with another league member. I think that's a huge bonus for this league. It speaks very highly of it to include those who are in the workforce who can't take a Tuesday morning off to play golf. Okay? We had our opening day on Saturday, May 18th, and there was a lot of fun with an ABCD scramble, followed by delicious pizza at Par 4. What more could you want? Our membership right now is at 55 members, which was the exact number we were this time last year. Several ladies have come and joined us from Fenwick. They raised their rates at Fenwick, and we benefited from that. And also a few more from Pequot. We did lose, so we have 10 new members. We lost 10 members, 3 sadly to passing, and the other 7 from attrition for various reasons. We have a full schedule of tournaments and events planned for the season, and I just want to say we appreciate the support we receive from Todd, Eric, and their staffs to support us in these events. On kind of the other side of the coin, while we're adjusting to all those red flags, there was initial upset by some of the members. So just kind of want to make that statement. And then let's see, but on a more positive, the course members in the league, I'm hearing a lot of good comments, positive comments about them being able to book their tea time 24 hours in advance of the public booking tea times. That seemed to be a benefit for us. And then last but not least, and so important, we appreciate the June Women's Golf Month discount that began this weekend. And I'll be very interested to hear, and perhaps others, of if statistics are going to be kept about that, how many women participate, and if we can do any more publicity about it, just let me know. We'll be glad to put it on our bulletin board or spread the word. We're spreading the word internally with our league, but we do appreciate that benefit this month. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Any comments?
Somebody is raising their hand. Portia.
Portia, sorry.
Hey, how are you? Yes, that's awesome that they're doing the Women's League and doing the discount for the month of June. Is that posted, I guess, to Mark Berry on the Groton Parks and Rec website anywhere?
I think we're putting it out on social media. I would have to check the webpage to see if Clayton has put it up there.
Portia,
Yeah,
it is on the Women's League page on the Shennecossett
perfect.
Golf website.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is say I'm not a golfer, right? So how would I find that if I wanted to get involved? It might be a good month for people. So if you're not going directly to the Women's League link, it's great to have it on the social media Facebook page saying Women's League, month, please come out. Here's our rates for June. Put it on Facebook and put it on our rec page somewhere so that people can get to it. With the hopes of drawing more people in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
Thanks,
that's-
Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've seen a number of people on Facebook anyway, sharing the information out beyond themselves. So I don't know, Mark, if we have any numbers eventually to be able to track how far and wide it's gone, but I've seen people share it and then reshare it. So, I mean, I know I shared it to my friends, and a number of them have reshared it, and then I checked their pages and a number of their friends have reshared it. So,
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll speak to Clayton, and I think there is a way to track the number of shares.
okay,
So I'll make a note to do that, and at the end of the month, we can just send out an email to the GAB just to let them know how effective it was.
okay.
If I can just add, I forgot to put in my report that Clayton came over to the league. I invited him to come watch us, take some pictures. And the women enjoyed that. It was a beautiful day, and he took several photos of us golfing on a Tuesday morning. So we appreciate that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. It was a beautiful day.
Gorgeous.
All right. Any other correspondence, communications? Nope, hearing none. Move on to the reports. Start with the golf course report.
Well, so the difference between this month and the previous year month is the season passes, but we are so up on season passes that that's really not an issue. And so anyway, but year on fiscal year to date and compared to prior fiscal date, we're so well beyond what last year was, and we will continue that. We are just jamming. We do have, if you look at the weather events, metrics, we are, we are well, our lost revenue is well beyond what last year was. So anyway, that's weather, but it's been wet. It's been wet all year. So there we are.
Yeah, so you're estimating about a $70,000 loss, potential loss of revenue due to the weather this year,
Well,
which is okay. I mean, you can't control the weather.
Well, for this month, it's the loss is estimated $16K. Last year month was $7,500. So, I mean, weather is weather.
Yeah, I was looking at the
There's
fiscal
nothing.
year numbers. No, that's fine. Exactly. Weather is weather, and you're still up 100,000 on the year anyway, according to this.
Yes. But when the weather is nice,
Mm-hmm.
we are busy from first time to last time.
Yeah.
Every single day. It's remarkable. It is.
All right. So this is April's numbers. Do you have May's ready? Or is
Margaret,
that
actually-
yeah, Todd called me at some point today and said it was ready, and I
Okay.
intended to send it out and forgot. So I will send it out. I've already made a note to send it out first
Okay.
thing this morning, or first thing tomorrow.
sweet?
So what I sent is actually the May numbers, but there is a glitch in our Excel workbook that is coding our May as April, our April as March. So we're efforting that.
Okay.
But these are the May numbers.
These are the May numbers.
No,
No,
These are
the
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 May
May,
numbers.
the May numbers didn't get sent out.
Okay.
So the last report you have is April.
which is
even
the
though
one
it says March, it says March on it.
Yep. So then March and
Okay,
So the
February,
yeah, for some reason, all of a sudden, when you run the report as a PDF, it jumps back a month. The numbers are correct, but the title is incorrect, and I'm not sure. It's been working fine through
Yeah,
the
that's weird.
first, yeah, through the first
okay,
9 months, and then all of a sudden it started doing that. So we've got to figure that out.
okay, so here we are, fiscal year to date. Total revenue, 1,450,000 and change. Last year, 1,366. Our average revenue per round this year is 44, which is a very good number, by the way,
Mhm.
just saying. And last year, the number was 40 per round. The prior 4-year fiscal year to date was 38. So we basically, we're not discounting. And so our numbers, our dollars per round is going up,
Okay,
which is a very good thing.
yep. All right, well, it'll be interesting as always to see the June report when the time comes so that we can see the entire fiscal year and do that comparison. But thank you for reading those numbers off. And Mark,
Yeah.
that would be, yeah, I just entered into the record. I mean, so that means we didn't get February, March. We got April. And then just May. So when if you send out the May ones, when you do that, can you add on the February and March ones?
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank you.
By the way, I was speaking with Eric Wolfgang, Wolfie, and I was talking to him about the report and so forth, and he said, "Oh," he said, "I code, I can do all of that." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Oh yes." So I said, "Okay, well, I need to speak to IT because IT sometimes has big toes that we don't want to tread upon." But Eric said, "I can do all of that. I can change. That's easy." And he started going on into this computer ease
Yep.
that I had no idea what he was talking about. But he said, "Oh, I can do it." So
Yeah.
anyway, so we'll effort that, and we should get it squared away.
So I know that at the Parks and Rec meeting, we talked about taking a look at the newest version of Chelsea systems. And do they do any reporting directly out of Chelsea systems? So that you don't have to do this translation into Excel? But yeah, no, you can do a lot of things with Excel. It's actually a very powerful little tool. But do we know what reporting is available directly from Chelsea?
Yeah, but it's not going to export into our workbook. It's not going to do that. But I have to say, since we integrated the credit card transaction into the POS,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. It cuts down the time of first sale to 25% of what it was. It really is, it really is great.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm just trying to save you a couple of extra steps. If we can get some of this directly from Chelsea, then you don't even have to do the translation into the workbook. Just trying to save time.
Yeah, they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna, Margaret, I don't think they're gonna break down all that we are interested in into the format that we want to look at. But we'll see. I'll take a look at it, and I'll see what I can see.
Okay. Excellent. All right, any questions about the revenue reports? All right, hearing none. Next one up, marketing report. Thank you, Todd.
So we continue to promote the golf course on Facebook and do a number of posts each month. For April, I think we did 5 different ones. Trying to encourage people to vote for us for the Day Reader's Choice Award. We did a youth golf and family tea promotion. We also like to let folks know when we're doing work on the course. So back in April, when we aerated the greens, we let everybody know. And then we also did an announcement surrounding the Audubon, being recognized for environmental excellence. And we continue to do Throwback Thursdays, which are always popular. And in May, we did 3 posts, one Wildlife Wednesday, which tends to be the most highest recognized. We also, as Marie mentioned, Clayton came out and did some pictures, and we did a promotion on May 9th and followed up with a second Wildlife Wednesday, advertising the fact that we had been recertified as an Audubon sanctuary. And I think for June, we will be promoting the women's golf discount for the month, and also encouraging people to sign up for golf lessons, letting them know that there's scholarships available and also clubs available. So.
Excellent.
And the Audubon effort is total kudos to Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all on him, and it's a great feather in our cap.
Oh, no, very much. And people talk about the butterfly areas on the course, and I think the monarchs have started appearing, so people are excited. So I think it's actually a nice little benefit. Portia.
No, I think that's great as a person who's really concerned about open space and protecting land and having, natural environments for animals and, wildlife and bugs. I think it's so important. So definitely great to hear. And I recently was reading something about how golf courses, help to enable that space and allow for, things like that, birds and other species to kind of thrive. So that's great to hear. Also, it's great to hear, the advertising and the scholarship part that you stated, Mark, that's available. I know from the council side, I can't speak for everybody else, but I had asked, there might be somebody who's interested in joining golfing. And, I don't want them to be eliminated because it's supposed to be fair and equal access for everybody, not based on income, if it's a town-wide activity. And so I'm happy to hear that there's a way that people can apply for scholarships. It would be great also, too. I know we do it with the youth where we have some youth leagues. It'd be great to have some discounted leagues for first-time golfers that maybe want a few hours to come out. I saw some other towns doing that where they said, hey, never tried golfing? Well, you might love it. Come on out, come out for this day at this time, for free, come to Par 4, get some food, and, learn a little bit about golfing and see if it's something you'd be interested in as like an open house where folks could experience a couple holes on the course, kind of learn the way. Because not everyone knows about golfing, and it might be something that some people might be willing to pick up. So I look to see some more of those type of activities where we have a little bit more of an open house for adults, not just youth. Thank you.
No, thank you, Portia, for calling all that out. I think lots of good progress this year. Makes good sense.
Yes.
Before we move on, I think Mike Serio has joined. If he's Google Pixel 3a. And he's muted.
Oh,
Yep, it is Mike.
yeah,
Just gotta unmute yourself somehow.
Mike, you're muted.
Nope, still muted. Sometimes you can be triple muted in these things.
Oh,
How about now? Can you hear me now?
there
Yes.
we go.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's all right. Thank you for joining us. Welcome
Yep.
to the Gab.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, so for those who don't know, this is Mike Serio. He is the president of the men's club at Shenny. Newly elected and will be replacing Dan Stowe on the golf advisory board going forward. So Mike, thank you. Just to let you know, we've already covered kind of citizens petitions and comments, new correspondence, communications. We'll give you an opportunity in a little bit to provide an update on the men's club. We covered the golf course report, and we've just been talking about the marketing report and are getting ready to move into status of goals and objectives.
Okay.
Okay. But again, no, great work by Eric. Like I said, people are reporting the sightings of the monarchs. It's always a positive thing. Condition of the course, etc. So I think June's going to be a great month on the golf course. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's just based on the play over the weekend, the greens are in really nice shape, and I know from this point forward they're only going to get even better. And the heather's starting to grow in now, so the course is starting to look like it should, like a true links, and starting to dry out as well. And I've had some really good conversations with Eric, and just to commend him and his group is a small group, for all that they do to keep our course in great shape.
Indeed.
Yeah, and maybe just very quickly, just thanks for extending the invite, and thanks to Margaret for helping me with the connection. Thanks.
Yep. Welcome. All right. Next agenda item, status of goals and objectives.
So I think what I'll do is just kind of go through and remind folks of what the goals were. Goal number 1 was to improve player experience, and we continue to work on that. I don't know, maybe Eric wants to give us an update on the proposed renovations taking place over the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, we were supposed to start a few weeks ago on the 5th green complex. The contractor got hung up on another job, and now that we're already into June, we just decided to postpone that part of the renovation until the fall, when they're going to come back and work on 2 green, 3 tee, 7 green, and fairway bunkers on 5, 6, and 7. So we're just combining the 2 projects to be done in the fall.
And Eric, what was that again? It was the 2nd tee, and what else? I tried to write
2nd green, bunkers around 2 green, doing some work to the 3rd tee,
Okay,
doing bunkers on 5 green, 7 green, some tee work on 6, and then fairway bunkers on 5, 6, 7.
wow,
Yeah, so that whole corner of the golf course.
wow, that's great stuff.
Yes, that'll be exciting, just like the project we did last spring on 3 and 4 and 6. It'd be a nice improvement.
Yeah, it made a huge difference.
While we're talking about that, Mark, any update on the restrooms down by the 8th hole? Or Eric, either one?
We have the plans, and because Shennecossett is in the city, we have to go through the city planning
Mm-hmm.
approval process, and I am not sure where we are with that. That's being led by Public Works. And I have a meeting with Greg this Friday, so I will make a note to check on that. And work at the bathrooms at R4 has been stalled
Yeah.
due to the fact that they found, as they were taking down a wall, I think they found some pipes that were wrapped with some kind of asbestos. And they're looking to get a contractor to mitigate that. It's a whole process. So that has, well, as of last Wednesday, they had not been working for probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Explains the silence.
Okay,
But when it's done, it's going to be a huge
Oh,
improvement.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, no,
It's
no,
going
no,
to
no.
be
What
really
everybody-
nice. Yeah.
We're all looking forward to it. We're almost getting used to the big brown box in the middle of the dining room.
Mhm.
Almost. Feature. All right, that's goal number 1.
Yeah. And then goal number 2 was to diversify player demographics. And, that's something that's been ongoing. We've introduced the Associate and Associate Plus to introduce younger players to the course. We also introduced the family tees, and I think it was Todd reported that we actually had a dad and his son come out a few weeks ago and asked about the family tees and played the course from the family tees. So
Perfect.
incremental gains. The other goal is to challenge the perception of golf to increase interest in play. And, one of the things that we do is try to continue to social media posts that present a positive image of golf, such as the Audubon Sanctuary and things like that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Portia, do you have a?
Yeah, I think my comments from before kind of just tie into that. If you're looking to diversify, one of the things is making it accessible. Again, if you don't grow up in a golfing family, you might not know anything about it or how to get involved. And I think some people may not know that they're interested without having to invest money first. So, I've seen that some golf courses have rental clubs and gear to kind of, get people out. They, like I stated, they do an open house where come on out for a couple hours, meet the pro shop, meet, the trainer person, let's run 3 holes or, hit some balls and kind of let people come out to experience it and say, if you're interested, we have lessons, we can sign you up. So that really does open up the door, because I think a lot of people are afraid if they don't know anything about it. And so how do you know if you don't know anything about it before you commit buying all the gear and the money and signing up for a membership and then realizing after it's not for you? So I think some type of open house where people can come down and get familiar, or have like you did with the youth, opening it up that way to bring in younger players let's bring in older players too that maybe never have started. And so maybe some form of open house that way would be helpful. When I looked up at one of the places up in Maine where I visit, they had a women's league, and the women's league also did an open house for women too. And they did a similar day, so it was less intimidating because the women don't want to be mixed with everybody else. So they had a Women's Day open house. But even just having an all cumbersome open house initially would be a way. And advertising that, the family teas thing too, making sure that's on social media, on Facebook, because you know, getting things, the more we share things, the more we can get them out, and publicizing that will open up accessibility.
If I could just make a comment, actually two comments about that, right? One is that it is a tough tea time to get at Shennecossett these days. So I think when I go in and I talk to, I'm friends with Todd, of course, and Timmy Sisk, and talk about, hey, how's it going today when he's working, when those guys are working, and that tea sheet is pretty full, pretty much every day. So that's one of the things I wonder, if we attract new players, how do they get out on the golf course? Because it's very busy, right? Having said that, I think what you're mentioning and promoting is the idea of attracting new players, and we'd like to get more people into the men's club and more people participating in the tournament. So it's something I'm working on. But I was a member at Lyman for many years, Lyman Orchards in Middlefield, and they opened up this Apple 9, they call it, and it has a driving range there, and it has a practice area, and they got a woman professional there, and boy, that place is booming now. I mean, when I go there, in fact, it's so women oriented, which is fine with me. I go there to practice sometimes. That the pro shop is completely dedicated to women golfers. And when I go up there to play, either there's clinics or lessons, group lessons, or the golf course itself, the 9-hole course, which is a mix of mostly par 3s and a couple short par 4s. You can see just by driving by that it's primarily all women playing there. So they've really done an unbelievable job, which I didn't think would have been possible to attract that many women, where it's really full with women either practicing or playing there. It's a real success story. And the guy,
I have a niece who plays there, and they make it very accommodating for her. She works at United Technology to play in an evening, and just she loves it.
And the fellow's name that runs it there, he's a really nice guy. His name is John DiPolina. He's the director of golf up there, and I'm really impressed what he's done there with that place. And they have a lot of stuff for kids as well. Yeah, a lot of classes and clinics and group lessons for kids, and the place is booming. You go up there, they got 2 or 3 golf professionals working, doing lessons, and I believe the woman golf pro that was there, she left to do sort of like her own thing. She goes there once in a while. I forget her last name. I know her first name is Marissa. Very nice, but it's a real success story.
Yeah, and the other thing that I've heard from folks, we are a transient area, and we want to, use the golf course as an economic driver, right? It's nice for us, but it's also what brings people to our area. And having the ability to have rental clubs when they touch down, if they're working for General Dynamics or EB or the Naval Base or Pfizer, having some clubs that they don't have to bring. Some folks have said, hey, when I got here, I wish you guys had rentals. So that's another way. I mean, we don't have to have a huge stock, but having something and advertising that, it does. We want to show that we're being diversifying to all of the things that are in the area. And our big area is the Navy base. We have a lot of naval guys here and girls that are are here for a short time and they might not want to invest in golf courses, clubs. And they've said to me, my son is active duty Navy, stationed here on the USS Virginia. And one of the things is down in Georgia, the courses there, they don't have to buy them because they can just use what's there for now. And a lot of them are transient, so they don't want to invest in heavy clubs at this time. So I just want to make that accessible to all.
Yep. Yeah, I think at some point, I think I'll speak for, Todd. I believe there are rental clubs, but I think an investment at some point in complete sets that, maybe come from Titleist or come from someplace else that would be available would be pretty handy. And maybe a mixture of like men, senior, ladies, etc., to allow different clubs to be used by folks. Because I agree, Portia, when I've traveled on business, it's been nice to be able to rent clubs.
Yeah.
What do we currently have? I know at one point it had stopped. Is it back up and running, and do we have some?
Well, since COVID, we've discontinued the rental club program, but we do allow people to play out of another person's bag, which is unusual. Usually at a golf course, if you play, you have to have your own bag, you have to have your own clubs. We don't require that. We tell people, no, we don't have rental sets. However, you can play out of your friend's bag, and there you go. And it's not been a problem.
Yeah, but if you have a couple of people who are traveling, it might be worth an investment to grab, get 5 sets or 4 or 5 sets of rental clubs just to have on hand, because not everybody is gonna come with somebody who also has clubs.
I was going to say the same thing. I can see why you stopped it during COVID, but we've moved along. COVID is not over. But golf carts can transmit COVID just as easy, so you wipe them down, like we do in the medical field, just wipe the handles, wipe it down, and you have a bag sit for a little while. And just like you would do with a golf cart, the exposure would be the same. But I do think, you have 3 or 4 Navy guys who say, you know what, it's a nice day. We're about to go out to sea. We want to go hit some balls, go play some golf. None of them are going to have a bag. And so I just want to make it more open to that military transient community that doesn't have the investment in the golf bag or the clubs. So I just would love to see, also allows someone who's never played to step in and say, you know what, let me try this out. You got a nice set here. Let me give it a whirl. And that opens up that accessibility.
Mhm.
Well, I understand what you all are saying, but I can tell you that it hasn't been an issue.
Have we
I mean, there's
advertised that we can play out of other? Have we advertised that? Sorry, my phone's cutting in and out. I apologize if I'm cutting you off. I'll let you go.
I'm just saying, no one has, after we say, well, you can play out of your friend's bag, no one has said, oh, well, never mind. No, I can't do.
Well,
honestly, I haven't had anyone say that to me in the last 3 years.
I respect that, but a lot of people might not show up if they don't have a friend who doesn't have a bag. And that's what I'm asking. You have a bunch of 21-year-old Navy. Our economy has a lot of disposable income. You have a lot of 18 to 30-year-old men and women that are serving our country here, stationed here. We recently implemented the military discount. Now we need to offer the opportunity to play and for travel and transient folks. So also other golf courses I looked at, maybe you're getting off at EB, but you didn't bring your clubs, but you want to play today. It's a beautiful day. You didn't throw them in your car. You can go down and, also if you're allowing folks to play out of a bag, I haven't seen that advertised anywhere. So if that's the case, how would one know that until they arrive?
because they call and we tell them that.
So if somebody calls and says they want to come out and play single,
They
they don't
say,
have
"Do you-
golf
do you
clubs,
have-"
you tell them that you basically tell them that you do not have clubs available and that's it.
They call and they say, "Do you have rental clubs?" And we say, my staff and I say, no, we don't, but you can play out of your friend's bag.
But if
And
they're
they
coming
say,
by
"Oh,
themselves,
okay."
if they're coming by themselves, they're not gonna do that.
That doesn't usually happen. That doesn't usually happen.
And it's-
With no disrespect, I'm just a little confused because I just really think that, again, we should make the golf course as open as accessible. And if someone were to call, we should have rental clubs and we can afford that. And it should be something that's there.
Well,
And
no,
ready.
it's not the town that's supporting it, it's me that's supporting it. I pay for that.
Right,
Oh.
but I mean, with no disrespect, I mean, you're the pro and you have your own benefits of selling merchandise and your own deal with the town to have your
Yes.
post out there. So that would be a benefit to our community to have that. So I guess to Mark Berry, I mean, is that something the rec department would have to purchase and then he would just oversee those clubs? I mean, how would that work? I think it is very vital and important to have that accessibility as a option to our community. If that's your goal, which was the accessibility piece, I think we're missing a whole bunch of people that are on vacation.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity there. It's just working out the details. And the best way to manage that.
Okay,
All right, so can we add that as another agenda item, maybe for the next month or whatever, to kind of come back and brainstorm on that item?
Yeah, our next meeting is not until September, but I think we can update the GAB prior to that on next steps.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Sure.
yeah, thank you.
Two more goals quickly.
Okay, yep,
Protect the golf course environment through environmental best management practices. I think we've talked about that tonight a couple of different times. Just maintaining the status as an Audubon certified cooperative sanctuary is just one way that we're trying to meet that goal. And then finally, the last goal was just maintain a sound financial position for the course. And since COVID, our financial position has strengthened considerably to the point where the renovations that are being made next fiscal year were all paid for through fund balance at the golf course.
Mike, you okay? Did we lose Mike?
Um,
I just want to make sure he's okay.
he stepped away. Oh, here he comes.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Dry spot.
okay, no worries.
You had a question for me?
Just want to make sure you're okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. No, thank you for that update, Mark.
So that's kind of the status of, those are the goals and the status of where we are to try to meet those goals.
Okay. Thank you. All right, any other questions? Not, we'll move on to any unfinished business.
I just had a quick question. One of the other meetings I attended, there was something about an area along a resident's property where there was concern that people were cutting through and there was talk of putting up like a little fence or something. Was that accomplished or where does that stand?
Yeah, Eric, can you update us on that?
Yeah, we put up a sign and since then we haven't heard anything else from the neighbors as far as I know.
Thank you.
Yep, got the signs there. All right, next agenda item, new business, the operational analysis RFP, or request for proposal.
Yes, so I
Excited.
wanted to share that with the GAB, have them take a look at it before we send it out sometime in hopefully July. And this is to update the last operational analysis that I think was done in 2004. And yeah, and we still reference that. And I think it's time it's over 20 years old. I think it's time we updated that. I recognize the fact that the golf course is in a good position, but there's always opportunities for improvement. And I would rather be proactive than reactive. And this was approved in the most recent, in the FYE 26 budget. Or I'm sorry, FYE 25 budget. So I'm open for any comments. I know Eric has looked at it and pointed out a few things that needed to be corrected. So I'm hoping that other sets of eyes perhaps cut things that Eric and I have not.
I'll jump in, if I may.
Okay, terrific.
I read it. I think it's a very strong RFP in terms of the operations, and I understand that is the focus. But what perplexed me was that this is before our conversation we just had. Looking at our goals 1, 2, and 3 really weren't represented in that plan, and they are a strong part of what makes operations successful. So it seemed that the plan was heavily onto the last four, goal 4, goal 5. But in terms of the people playing on the course and enhancing the course, for what? And for what I look at the first 3 goals. So just thought it was a little weak on the improving the players' experience, diversity, demographics, and encouraging more people to play. And I do understand the difference of operations versus end results, but I think they're so intertwined. So I would go back, read it again, and put in some of those elements that we just spoke about into the proposal.
Okay,
So yeah, I had a similar
Okay.
observation to Marie in terms of the environment for the golfers themselves and what services or what additional things like lessons, et cetera, were youth programs, building all of that up. Addressing ways and potential for that as well.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's really to, in my perspective, there should be more about the end user in this really a very important effort to a focus that gives a better experience for the end users. And
If I could, I'd like to just make a point about this. Going back to actually goal number 1, the player experience. So, and so I've been working with Eric, and we went over a list of things that his team is doing or already has done regarding the golf course, projects or improvements that have been made, completed, or things that are planned to be completed. So we're trying to just get that out to the men's club. But again, the men's club isn't, members, it's not the biggest population there, right? It makes up a group that, plays there quite often. And they're season pass holders. And then there's other people that aren't part of, the men's or women's clubs that play there quite frequently as well. I would think something, for me, something that would go a long way, and like I said, Eric and I are starting to do this, is to so I can only do it to regarding the men's club members. What are the things that are planned? And Margaret was nice enough to share with me some of those things last year, actually, that are being planned by the town, the capital investment, the things that Eric spoke about early on, and all the beautiful work that was done last year at the course that made huge improvements to the aesthetics of the course and the player experience. And my suggestion would be, is there an avenue or way to communicate what those things are going to be going forward, at least for the current year? Because we all know things can change from a budget standpoint, right? We need money for other things in terms of not only the golf course, but other things within the town. So you can't go out 3 years out, let's say, but at least for the current year, to let people know, hey, we've got this great Donald Ross course here, and here's what we're planning to do to make it even better. And you just post it somewhere or some way of communicating it that people can see it and say, oh, wow. So when they're out there and they play in a particular hole, let's say, like Eric said, they're going to do renovation of the greenside bunker on number 2, which needs some help, and just to know that, okay, yeah, this is something that's going to be planned to be improved, and they can look right across the way and see, what a nice job that was done on the bunkers that are on number 3. So you say, okay, they're aware, of the wear and tear over years, and things erode with the weather and everything else, and now they're going to fix it. They're going to make an improvement there. I think that goes a long way with the people that play there. And it's actually one of the reasons I left Lyman. It's a beautiful golf course. It's a tremendous layout. The Robert Trent Jones layout, even the Gary Player course, is a beautiful layout when it was maintained properly. But things started to deteriorate there, and you never knew. Well, and we, as a men's club members, we went to the management team there, and there was no really strong response back to our concerns about the golf course, and what they were going to plan, what they were going to actually do based on our feedback, and it's probably on the minds of other people that play there as well. So anything we can do to communicate the good work that's coming, I think goes a long way with people.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty low-hanging fruit to put together a
I agree.
half page of, because there are a number of different projects. We're making renovations to the maintenance building, not that that enhances player experience, but it does help overall. The bathrooms going in at 8, the new bathrooms going in at the clubhouse,
Right.
and then the renovations that Eric mentioned, those are all fully funded and committed projects.
Right.
That are going
Like
to take place over the next 6 to 8 months.
Right.
Yep.
And like I mentioned to Eric, I think what we've got to do is, I think what's key to it or critical to it is sort of under promise and over deliver. Let's not say, hey, we're going to, do these other things are planned too, and then they don't happen. It's what are the things that we know will happen that we can have a high confidence level that we could communicate to them. And I could take care of it, through the men's club. And I think it's, again, I really like all the guys, that at the course there that work on Eric's team, all, really friendly guys. And they do a tremendous job with a small crew there. And, anything that puts a little bit of gas in their tank, about, hey, the people that play here appreciate what you guys do. That keeps those guys motivated to continue to do the good work, So it's just positive reinforcement. They keep hearing positive things. I think it's huge for them, and for Eric as well, you know?
No, I'd agree. I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to review this. But Mark, hopefully that gives you,
It does, yeah, that was good feedback, and I will work on another draft and share it with you to hopefully
will be,
with the GAB to see if I've hopefully captured what those items that you thought should be gaining a little bit more attention.
And if I could just say what seemed to me to be missing a bit too, related to the comments I made earlier, was that I don't believe I saw use of surveys in their methods of collecting data.
Mhm.
There's, you know, some specific things that they were going to do, but I didn't see us really any, nothing that stood out that said we're going to talk to the players and talk to the, you know, the
it's
users.
there.
Yeah, I think it
is.
is in there.
It
Yeah.
is in there.
Is it in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So this is
don't
the-
remember which page, but yeah, we
it's towards
talked
the
about
end.
use
Mhm.
the men's
In there.
club, the women's club,
Yep.
the
Golf
something
advisory
like that.
board,
golf advisory board, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
town employees. You should
Right.
even go, there's a section.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Mark again, thank you.
Yep.
So that brings us to the next and last agenda item, which is the next meeting date, which I believe is September 8th.
Yeah, it's a little bit later because of Labor Day.
September 9th, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be September 9th. We'll skip October and then come back. We'll have to look at that date in November, because I think that's the day before Election Day. And
Okay,
I know we've had in the past just some thoughts about that date. But then the next one is Veterans Day, so maybe not, we don't move it. And if there's elections going on, which obviously there will be, people will be getting ready for that. Okay. But yeah, so September 9th, we'll be
Okay.
back. Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Good discussion, I think.
Yeah,
If
just
not,
final comment, anything I can do, you know, in terms of the men's club to promote anything that you guys want me to convey or communicate, by all means, let me know. And I'll support that.
excellent.
Margaret, I gotta run downstairs and get my power cord because this
Okay.
meeting's gonna be over before it should
Uh-oh,
maybe if I
it
don't
does.
plug it in.
Go
I'll be
for
right
it.
back.
And in the meantime, Gary, you have a question or a thought?
Well, I was at the bar at the Ocean House, and I don't know whether I said I was on the Golf Advisory Board or Shennecossett or whatever came up. But they were discussing there's a municipal course in Connecticut. I presume it's west of the Connecticut River. And they were saying they had a 10-year plan.
Yep.
And they were quite impressed with the 10-year plan. It isn't like today plan, it's a 10-year plan, and they said
Mhm.
pending funding and so on. But that having a plan carries some weight.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree. Which is why I think we've been talking about redoing that plan for like the last 5 or 6 years, and so we finally got it in the budget this year, which is great. And I think it'll be very valuable. They'll be seeking input from this board, so I think that'll be helpful as well. No, I'm looking forward to it. All right. we need to wait for Mark to adjourn? Oh, we got Mark.
Yeah, I'm back.
That was quick.
We can go another hour now, or I'm all plugged in.
Appreciate the thought. Gonna pass. All right. If I could get an emotion to adjourn, unless additional comments. So I'll make a motion to adjourn. Anyone want to second it, or we just quit?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Great discussion today.
Good job, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.